I've been wanting to bring on, and that's B. Okay, so B, very interestingly, she stumbled upon talent acquisition 10 years ago. Okay, and I don't know how she maintained her looks, but but certainly she looked very, very youthful. And she actually started with one of the world's leading recruitment agencies. Her 4 years as an external recruiter allowed her to gain exposure, certainly, to a vast array of job functions and industry. So, you know, with so much knowledge, please tap into her knowledge. And now as an internal talent acquisition opportunity when it came up, so with an Australian commercial explosives company, she exploded in pure assignment. And by the way, if you're curious about B's interests, she's a good poet, very artistic poet as well. I'll get her to share her poems with you. All right, so she took a leap of faith in doing something completely new in an industry foreign to her. Wow, kudos to her for that courage there. She applied her transferable expertise and created customized talent management strategies that take a proactive approach in anticipating the organization's needs. I love that. Now, currently, of course, she's the Asia Pacific Talent Acquisition Manager for a French global leading freight forwarding company known as Bollore. And being in a completely, again, different industry and different culture, but she's a firm believer in using cost saving and culture building tactics in succession planning in order to better handle the current climate of uncertainty. So clearly from that alone, you can tell that she's not transactional, she's more relational. All right, so from recruitment agencies to commercial explosive to freight forwarding, B thrives on expanding her knowledge of various industries and their respective TA needs. It's not easy serving so many business units. And today, together with B is Elizabeth. All right, so if you see Elizabeth typing in the chat, answering some of your questions, she's speaking on behalf of Bollore. She's here supporting B as well. And she has a keen interest in understanding people. So Elizabeth and I have similar interests. She's intrigued by how the human mind works. Yes, high five, I'll do a high five here, virtual one. She graduated from New York University with a major in psychology and minors in child and adolescent mental health and econs. Now, she has international experiences as well in mental health field and worked as a behavioral therapist for children with ASD in her preceding role. Whoa, so she has done a change as well in her career journey. So she had decided to make a career switch to talent acquisition as the function allows her to continue pursuing her passion of working with people from diverse backgrounds without having to be a broke student for the next 6 years. Oh gosh, she's so transparent here. All right, very, very transparent. Okay, so B is going to talk to us about this. This is so positive. You can stand out in a competitive market. It's a mouthful, but I still want to give due credit to our speakers for making time to be with us right from the beginning. I'm going to stop share and pass the floor to B.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Let me know when you can see it, please.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, great. So thank you, Eileen, for inviting me to this very meaningful webinar today, and it's my honor to be here with all of you. So my name is B, and I'm the Regional Talent Acquisition Manager for Bollore Logistics. So I have been in the talent acquisition space for about 10 years now, kept my youth, and spent the first 4 years as an external headhunter in a recruitment agency, and the last 6 years as an in-house talent acquisition position, and also a hiring manager myself every now and then when I expand my team. So in these years, I've experienced working with great candidates who can get hired in a heartbeat. I work with candidates who struggled so bad with the competition in the job market. I've also worked with candidates who switched their careers in a complete different space in their mid-career years. So I work with talents in all shapes and sizes and personalities. So now this presentation I put together is not a step-by-step textbook theory to help you find your dream job. So this session, I hope to give you the most realistic advice, guidance, and tips I've accumulated working in the talent space. and also just mainly to help you take charge of your career search and stand out in a competitive job market. So in today's agenda, I want to start by giving a quick introduction to Bollore Logistics, which is the company I work for, how you can put an end to trying to fit in with the mass population and build your own niche as a job seeker, followed by some useful tips working with recruitment agencies and headhunters to get you out there to the right opportunities, and also the talent acquisition point of view and how you can work best with us, how to impress hiring managers, and by and large, how to make an impression, a positive one, in the entire hiring process. Right, the Bollore Group. So Bollore Logistics belong to a larger group of companies called Bollore Group. So Bollore Group is actually a family-run business of almost 200 years, to be exact, 199 this year. So next year we'll be celebrating our 2nd century. So it's a real family business, currently managed by the 7th generation of the Bollore family. So we have 3 main businesses. Bollore Transport Logistics, where I belong, Bollore Media, where some of the brands here may seem familiar to you, like Universal Music, right? So technically speaking, I am colleagues with Rihanna and Taylor Swift. And last but not least, Bollore Electricity Storage and Systems. So we also have shareholdings in several other brands, such as, say, Spotify, which a lot of us will know, and many, many more. But let's focus on Bollore Logistics. So Bollore Logistics, we have 4 business units. We have Bollore Logistics, ports, railways, and energy, and I belong here, right? So yes, we are top 10 worldwide with a huge turnover, 5 over billion euros. We have a global footprint, but let's not go into that detail. That would take me 3 hours. So we are one of the world's top 10 freight forwarding logistics players, providing end-to-end supply chain solutions to our customers. And we strongly believe it's the people who brought us here, and it will continue to be the people who will bring us to global top 5 by 2025. Now, enough about Bollore Logistics. Let's focus on you. So now, your career decisions are made by you, right? So it all starts with you. You take charge of your career search. So you need to stop trying to fit in with the crowd and build your own niche. Now, before we go into details, let's do a quick poll. So you see that Eileen has inserted a poll for us. So what is your current career search status?
Okay, wait. So I need to launch it. Just hang on. Okay, search status. Yep. Can everyone see the poll? Okay, I've just launched it. Okay. Can you see the poll? Let me see. Let's do. Okay, cool. You should be able to see it now on screen. Yep. So we are getting people selecting their choices. Very nice. Bearing in mind, we've got over 310 of you here in this room. Okay, so that's fine. Maybe I can end the poll then.
I think we hit 75% now anyway.
We hit. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm gonna share the results. Yeah.
Yes. So we can see from the results, slightly more than half of us are here. We are actively looking. Quite a good percentage of people passively looking, and very small percentage not looking. Now, so this webinar will be good for you because for people who are actively looking, these are all the tips that you can immediately work on. And passively looking, it will be useful for you in the future. Not looking, at some point you will. Right, so it's definitely a very interesting seminar that you chose to attend. So good on that. So can we close this and move on to the next slide, Eileen? Okay, good. So well, there are several ways to stand out from the crowd, right? But I've only picked this 4 just because you can implement it in your job search strategy immediately. So first, you got to understand, with the incredible shift in the job market, job hunting now is so different compared to the past, or even just last 2 years. With the COVID-19 situation lingering around for the whole of 2020, probably the whole of 2021 as well, and possibly even spilling over to 2022. more companies are now supporting remote work. Now, the good news is this increases the number of jobs available. So what was once an impossible job to apply to just because it's 1,000 miles away is just a click away now. Now, also with so many hybrid roles created in the last couple of years, there's hardly a 100% required skill set you need to possess before you are eligible to apply. So employers are much more open to transferable skills now and people coming from different industries. Right now, the whole notion is industry can be learned, right? It can be taught. Skills can be trained. Well, unless you're interviewing to become a pilot and you only have a driver's license, then that's a different story, right? But by and large, especially in a corporate environment, transferable skills can be more useful than you think. So think, what do you have, right? What are you applying for? What is skills needed? What are your gaps? So I didn't come from a logistics industry. I came from commercial explosives, right? So, but don't be afraid to create a few versions of your CV to align to what you're applying for. So look at the JD, right? The job description. Are there any words in your CV you want to highlight, to add or to emphasize? Right? Say, for example, if right now I'm looking for a key account manager, for example. So what are the keywords, right? Client servicing, solutioning, sales, commercial.
All right, B, I need to unmute you because I muted everybody. So sorry about that. Yep. Just only just. Okay. So just hang on. I'm gonna unmute you. Okay. Yep.
Unmute. Okay.
Yes.
What do you last hear me say?
I think it's only the last two sentences. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just repeat it a little bit. So what I was saying is, don't be afraid to create a few versions
of your CV. Yeah, correct.
What you apply for, right? Whatever you want to emphasize, the keywords. So if I'm looking for a key account manager, for example, right? So what are the keywords? It can be sales, client servicing, solutioning, customer retention, or even client facing, and many other variations, right? So do you own any of those? So make sure you have all these keywords in your resume and tweak them accordingly to what roles you are applying for. Now, next, what do I mean by reverse engineering your job search? Right now, the thing is, many people hit the job boards and just start applying for anything based on job title, like a spray and pray technique, right? So at the end of the day, you probably apply for 30 positions in, I don't know, 25 different companies, and you lose track of what you apply. So now many people think it's a good idea to spread many eggs in as many baskets as possible, and you'll probably hit one. Yes, sometimes when you're lucky, but mostly people just end up feeling disappointed after all the efforts of painting the whole town with your CV and no one ever called, right? So start by targeting the companies you want to work for. So research on their brand, what they're looking for, target specific roles and tweak your CV accordingly. So get on the radar of the key people in the organization, connect with them, speak with me, whoever that is, right? The key stakeholders. So tell them why you're interested and what transferable skills you have. Speak with them. So this way you actually spend more time really understanding specific companies and roles and get yourself connected and remembered. And chances are you probably get a better response. Now, the next one, a little technical knowledge to why some people get connected on their application a little bit earlier than you, right? So you see a job advertisement brings in about, say, 150 to 200 applicants for one open position. So if I have 10 vacancies, usually more, but let's say if I have 10, we're easily talking about 2,000 CVs to go through, right? Sometimes more, sometimes less, give or take. But to help us cope with that volume, right? Most, if not all companies use an applicant tracking system. So in short, ATS, to store candidates, to communicate, to manage the hiring process and provide us with precious data analytics, right? So now ATS has become one source of truth in the entire hiring process. And there are tons of ATS available in the market on the shelf right now. And most of them are equipped with state-of-the-art AI. Right, so which recognizes keywords in your resume and automatically assess your suitability for the role that you are applying for. So this can come in percentages of fit, scores out of 10, whatever that is. and the system actually recommends which profile I should see first, right? So the key is make it simple, right? Ensure you have the right keywords easily picked out by the system. Study the JD, mirror some keywords if you can, and then you apply, right? Make yourself an obvious fit, but it has to be true, not just plugging in skills that you do not have, right? Then that's an entirely different topic. So the last one, again, treat your CV and LinkedIn profile like it's a live breathing document, right? It's not permanent, right? It's not a tattoo, it's not permanent. You can change it, it can be modified anytime you want to make it look more appealing and more relevant to whatever you're applying for. And probably the most brutal advice in this session, I believe, if you're not on LinkedIn, you almost don't exist, right? So because more than 80 or 90% of agency recruiters and TA, we all use LinkedIn to actively source for candidates. Now imagine this, if I have a job vacancy now and I want to approach some people on LinkedIn, if they're interested to consider. So this job is in your geographical space, looking for people with your skills and experiences, your type of industry, and suit you to a T, right? And you are nowhere to be found on LinkedIn. Look who's getting an opportunity, not you. So please, I urge every one of you, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile yet, please sign up for one. It's super easy. And for those of you who have one, make sure it's updated to best reflect your skills. Again, keywords are super, super important. And also LinkedIn itself is a platform that also recommends candidates that I should see first, even without me actively searching. So that is really, really important. Now, some of you here may be working with recruitment agencies or search firms at some point or partner with one. So good recruiters, they can help you find the best jobs suited to your skills. They guide you along the whole hiring process and make it a painless experience. Now, make sure you are partnering with the right one to represent you in the market and market your skills. So for the first 4 years of my life in a recruitment agency has been very fruitful. I've seen and experienced a lot there, and I'm happy to share with you some tips on how to partner with search firms to get the best outcome. So first, it's important to know what recruiters are doing for a living, right? I used to have one job, right? And that is to place as many people as possible and hit my sales target, right? But don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad at all. This just means that we really want to place you, right? More than you want to place yourself maybe. And we will go miles and miles for that. So work that to your advantage. Help them help you, right? Recruiters are the people who knows the job market, who's looking, who's not, who are the good pay masters, who not so great, but ultimately the people who will be representing you and marketing you to these companies. So if they can't market you well, you won't stand a chance standing in front of the interviewer. So make it easy for them. Now, give them a full understanding of your skills, right? Tell them your preference, your expectations, what works, what won't. So this helps them narrow down the jobs they are currently working on and recommend those that are suitable for you. Now, the pro tip is, one of the best things you probably don't know, working with an agency, your resume will not look like your resume when it gets sent out the door, right? So recruiters, they reformat your CV so it looks absolutely professional and polished before they send it to any companies. So they take out irrelevant information like your age, your address, your contact details, picture, and they write a very good summary of your skills. Now, a few things to avoid though, is to be working with too many agencies, right? Chances are companies usually work with a few agencies if they're using, right? You want to avoid your CV being sent to the same role by multiple agencies. Now you may think to yourself, that's good, right? All the recruiters think I'm suitable for the same job. No, big no. And I'll tell you why. Because there's a thing called candidate ownership. And typically, this ownership lasts for about 12 months, right? And usually the agency who sends your profile to the company first gets the ownership. And they receive a fee when you're hired. So this probably shouldn't stand in between your chance of being hired, but this makes the whole hiring experience very painful. especially for the company, right? Especially when the company now needs to prove to all other agencies who sent it first, down to the minute of your profile being sent. So I've personally seen very dramatic cases where a few agencies were fighting for this candidate ownership, and the company wasn't even able to instruct which agency to arrange for the interview. And then suddenly another candidate came into the picture in the midst of this drama and got hired, right? So you do not want to be in that situation. And second is to allowing your CV to be sent without your consent. Now, this is very important. You need to be fully aware of where your CV is being sent and to what role. You also want to avoid your profile being sent to every company out there that marginally fits your skills, right? Because you don't want to paint the whole town with your CV, because, I mean, what does that say about you? That says desperation, and people can smell it from a mile away or more. And thirdly, to give a bad experience, right? This comes in many forms. It can be a candidate not turning up for an interview after being arranged. It can be a dishonesty. It can be not turning up for work, or just a very difficult person to partner with, right? Remember that ATS that I talk about? Every recruitment agency has it. There are notes that are permanently attached to your profile. So when you are interviewed, the recruiter's feedback, roles you are sent to, successful and not successful, and why. So it's basically a whole page about you. And there are options, drop-down boxes, such as do not contact in the system attached to your name. Now, recruiters don't want to waste time on a candidate who will not bring them any ROI of their time, right? So help them help you. They want to place you more than anything else. So make yourself placeable. Now, of course, because I specialize in talent acquisition, and because you will come across many TA professionals, I want to share with you what we do, how we do it, how to work best with talent acquisition to ensure a smooth journey in the whole hiring process. So many people say we are the face of the company. Well, technically, yes, to a good extent. We are your first point of contact, the gatekeeper, the ambassador of the company. We partner closely with the business to ensure we hire the right talent. We partner you in the whole hiring process and a whole bunch of other things we do, right? But in this session, let's only focus on how to best work with talent acquisition. So before we go into these details, Eileen will put up a poll for us. So we have 2 questions. Eileen, over to you.
Here we go. Everybody should be able to see this poll on screen. Do you do any research about the company before the interview with before you interview with the talent acquisition team? That is. So yes, thoroughly, no, or well, just enough to impress. So which one? Which one do we have? This time I think it's a lot faster, B. Getting a lot faster. We are hitting 60% pretty fast. As you know, I try to reach about 75% in the crowd here. We actually have more people joining in midway through your speech, B. So just a couple of individuals who have just joined. We've got quite a few questions as well. Menti.com. All right, Menti.com, do type your questions and also upvote those questions that sound very similar, or you like those questions to be asked as well. Okay, we have hit 71%, 71%, and that's 72. Nice. What about the rest? We've got like 300, over 300 of you here in this crowd. Okay, so can we push a little bit more? I think 72 is also good.
Yeah, we're 73 now, so yeah.
Okay, cool. So 73%, I'm gonna gone. 74. Terrible. All right. End poll and share the results. Here we go.
So it looks like, yes, about half of us, we actually researched thoroughly. Very naughty 6% who says no. And also about half of us say enough to impress. So I think we can stop the poll right now. So it looks like we have a good, interesting crowd here today. Now, surprisingly, more than half of the candidates I speak with belong to that naughty 6%, right? They do not read up anything about Bollore Logistics, which actually pissed me off quite a bit sometimes. and needed me to go through the whole literature of Bollore Logistics, right? 200 years of history of it. So if you think about it, and the number of people I speak with on a daily basis, and how I need to repeat myself over and over and over again in all my conversations. Now, the truth is, I don't need you to repeat whatever's on my website word for word, right? I just need you to know enough information to ensure a meaningful discussion on how much blanks I need to fill in for, right? It also shows your motivations to me. I mean, how do you justify that you're keen to work for Bollore Logistics when you don't even read up on me, right? So I only need you to read up to a good extent, enough to impress, right? So that's all. Second question we have here, Eileen, I think you can put up the poll. Do you apply for multiple positions within the same company?
Yep. Let me just pull out that poll, and then here you have it on screen. Just 2 choices, yes or no. Yeah. Okay, so hey, 60%. More and more. Let's try and hit minimally 70%. And although over 200 of you have already voted, so thank you so much. There's still another 100 over who have not voted, but I think that's pretty cool. We've actually hit about 70% already. Yeah. Okay, 71%, nearly there. Only, of course, B, myself, and the rest of speakers can see what you have voted, but we'll like to see if the votes are swinging whichever way. Whichever way. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. That's cool.
Okay, I can end the poll and share the results. Here you go.
So we have quite a good half-half situation over here. So the thing is, I actually hope you don't. That is my preference. The thing is, we talk, right? The talent acquisition team talk a lot. Elizabeth and I talk a lot, right? We know names by heart. The good, the bad, and the one who applies for everything, because we share one system. Right, and what does this show us when your candidate page, what you applied for, like 20 positions. So for example, I posted a, say, finance role, and Susan Tan applied, right? And she's not suitable. And then Elizabeth posted a marketing role. Susan Tan also applied. So I hope we don't have a Susan Tan over here. If there's one, I sincerely apologize, and your name is used on a completely coincidental basis. And then the same Susan Tan also applied for several other positions in my logistics team. Now, well, Susan Tan, surely she can't do all these roles, right? Susan Tan is doing the spray and pray on us, hoping she'll be suitable for one role. Now, if Susan Tan is that interested in working for Bollore Logistics, is there a better way to reach out? Right? Remember, I talked about reverse engineering your job search earlier and getting on the radar of key people, right? Can Susan Tan not reach out to me directly on LinkedIn or something and have a conversation on what suits her best? I'm sure she can, and she should, right? Now, to help you better understand and better partner the talent acquisition team, it's good for you to understand what we do. So a talent acquisition team is not just recruitment, right? And we are very different from recruiters. So a talent acquisition team is multifaceted, right? We don't just stop at screening CVs and arranging interviews, right? It's an end-to-end talent management process. So from employer branding to planning of talents suited to the business needs, to coming up with attraction strategies, active headhunting, screening, selecting, assessment, stakeholder, candidate management, offer management, I need to catch my breath, candidate management, all the way to ensuring a smooth onboarding experience. So we are there in every single step of the hiring process, and you are accessed in every single step as well. Now, the thing is, we do not just look at your skills, right? We want to know if you are consistent with the company values. Now, every company will have their own talent model, and this is the Bollore Logistics talent model. So what we aim to achieve every single time we hire is to offer the role to the person closest, if not already sitting at the top right quadrant. So this blue box over here. So this means that the successful candidate not only needs to have the skills and knowledge required for the role, but also consistent with our values. So the box on the left of the desired talent model, this box over here, can you see this box over here? Is what we call the potential quadrant, right? And there has been a rise of successful hires in this very quadrant. So people who are consistent with values, but lack some skills to 100% fit for the role, but someone who has transferable skills, right? And the right attitude and potential to grow into the role. So again, are you showing your transferable skills? Now, to help yourself stand out with the talent acquisition team, first, we need to understand we have a we have a holistic perspective of the business, right? We know the business. We are working for the business. We are basically business partners. We understand the open positions beyond just the job description. We have lunches and coffee meetings with the hiring managers, right? We talk in the pantry. We have wines together. You know, we are very, very close. So we basically spend a lot of time together. We know what they like, what works, and what will not work. So we give you advice and tips to be successful. We want to hire the right talent, which isn't necessarily the best talent in the market. Right now, we are your first point of contact, but that doesn't necessarily mean we reach out to you 100% of the time, right? You can take charge and reach out. Get on my radar, right? Help me remember you. And please, we want to give you a good impression too. We want to give you the great candidate experience as much as we want to receive great experience from you. So we are the ones recommending to the business who to interview, who to shortlist. We shortlist quality candidates, not quantity. Yeah? We only shortlist quality candidates. So yes, you can also say we are the gatekeepers and usually the first to decide if you proceed to the next round. Right, so we want to make sure you stick because we put our names in the line for you when we shortlist your profile. And the last one, yes, help us help you, right? We look at hundreds of CVs a day, right? If you can make it easy on our eyes, you score points immediately, right? So show us what you want us to see. So remember, we talked about transferable skills. Make sure it's all very visible, right? And update your LinkedIn profile, be in my face. Now, we are partners and we want the best for the business as well as for you. Now you've gotten past the talent acquisition assessment stage. It's now time to showcase your skills to the business. Give them all you've got and a little more. And what do I mean by that? So the three fits, right? The job fit, the must-haves and technical skills for the job, soft skills, what are gaps, the team fit. How are you complementing to the existing skills of the team dynamics and ability to collaborate, and culture fit, the fit to the business as a whole. So in the next slide, I'll explain in more detail. Now, job fit. So these are the non-negotiable skills you must possess and also transferable skills that you may have to bring in. Now, if you don't have technical skills now, can your transferable skills make up for it? Showcase it, right? Or how are you going to pick it up? In the job fit interview, the hiring manager may ask situational or behavioral questions. So be prepared to have a couple of examples on your fingertips to describe a challenge on how you solved them in the past, right? So these are all the behavioral based questions. Now, team fit. The hiring manager is responsible. Remember, the hiring manager is responsible to keep the team together. So a lot is going through their heads apart from just the job. So they think about their team dynamics, whether you'll fit in or drive change or team harmony, or how are your skills fitting to the gaps of the current team? And also, are you in line with their succession plans? Culture fit. So we often hear the term culture shock, right? When we join a new company, but that should be quite normal, isn't it? I mean, each time we transition ourselves to a new company, we face new processes, we have new bosses, new colleagues. So we want to know that you are adaptable to change, right? And not change resistant. Now, the key here is, well, job fit remains as a very important factor in deciding whether to hire you or not hire you. Team fit and culture fit is now putting a lot of weight into deciding if you are the right fit. So if you have 100% job fit, but is rigid to change and inflexible, but other candidates are more adaptable, well, guess who gets the job? Not you, right? Now, the last bit of my presentation, a quick recap on do's and don'ts to impress the whole hiring process, right? The do's, definitely research about us, right? What motivates you to join us? Demonstrate all your transferable skills. Show that you are easy to work with. Now, the don'ts, quite a lot of them, really. So one thing everyone hates, I need to emphasize this. One thing everyone hates is to set aside specific time to interview the candidate, and then it gets rescheduled multiple times, right? So because it is very disruptive and it delays the whole hiring process, and ultimately it doesn't show that you're interested. And also inconsistency, right? HR, TA, hiring managers, all interviewers, we all, trust me, we all sit down at the end of the interview process to discuss about the interviews, right? We discuss about feedback. So you do not want to be the candidate who give different information to different people and confusing everyone. And also please try not to discuss salary expectations at the first instance unless you're asked, right? But I don't think anyone will really ask what are your salary details before even start the whole interview. Right. So because you don't want to seem like you're 100% money motivated only, right? And also bad mouthing your current employer shows a lot about your character, right? And definitely, and please, one thing we all do not appreciate the most is taking advantage of an offer, right? For example, an offer from Bollore Logistics to negotiate a higher salary with your current employer. Now, the world is smaller than you think, right? People know people, and you really do not want to burn bridges this way and blacklisted, right? Now, the last bit, really something I want to share. Rejection is not a failure. It really isn't, right? And I'm very sincere about it. It's not a failure because we all face rejections. Now, but please remember, I mean, companies, they only hire one candidate for one open position. If I have 100 candidates, I will end up rejecting 99 of you, right? But most candidates are rejected not because they are bad candidates, right? It's just not the best fit for the particular role or the timing of it all, right? For great candidates, we want to keep you in our talent pipeline. Now, to help you improve and understand why you're not selected, ask for feedback. Right? The talent acquisition will be very, very happy to share with you. I'll be very happy to share with you, why you're not selected. And please be gracious about it because it's just as hard for me to reject you as you being rejected, right? So we want to be very transparent and it's very hard for us as well. And definitely, keep in touch and stay connected with us. So yes, I hope you enjoyed the session and were able to capture some key takeaways. That's all for me, Eileen.
Definitely. You have so many nuggets of gold. And there were also a couple of qualifying questions they asked related to what you mentioned.
Okay.
And you said, don't apply for multiple roles. The qualifying question was it, are you pointing to a particular period of time, or what if it spans over years? Like 5 years ago, I applied for this position, but does that mean because the system recorded it, then should I even apply for a different role? I think you're talking about...
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I mean, many years is fine, but we all still share one system. I can still see what roles you apply when, right? But it's okay. I think I'm more concerned about this person applying for every single role at one period of time, right? In a span of 1 week, you apply for 20 of my positions. Poor Susan time. I don't know what to do with Susan Tan. Right? So
whether there's a Susan Tan here.
If there's Susan Tan, I apologize.
Fictitious name.
No, I mean, if they're spanning across a few years, yes, I think that's okay.
Okay.
But if you're gonna apply so many at one go, I rather you just reach out to me directly and showcase your skills, and then we can decide what role to put you forward for.
I think that's a good one. There's only one other qualifying question is with regards to salary. And the question is, you said don't mention about salary, but what if, the recruiter or internal recruiter asks us about the expected salary? Should we say or not?
Yes. I mean, the TA
always-
or recruiter will always ask this question. Maybe I wasn't clear enough. What I was trying to say is, do not ask about salary even before you're being interviewed, right? So I have experience with candidates when I speak with them, say, hello, my name is B, I'm calling from Bollore Logistics. And some candidates will say, can I find out what's the salary range first before I waste your time?
Wow.
I mean, obviously, I just wasted 5 seconds of my time.
Yeah,
So,
I can imagine what you do.
because, I mean, this doesn't show, it just shows that
Okay.
you're
Okay.
So please do not do that. And only talk about salary at the end, because that's only when the end people will ask you about it.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the caveat, I mean, the decision point is, if you are asked, please answer. All right.
Yeah.
If no one asks, then please don't.
If no one asks, maybe we have very good budget and money. It's not a problem at all. So, you know, don't try to kill yourself before, you know, before anything.
But okay, just a quick takeaway is don't take the whole, you know, job search process too emotionally, because it's as what B has mentioned, you know, the fastest or the most, someone who actually tick all the boxes could actually land the job faster. So it's all about placing candidates in roles. Yeah, placing candidates in roles. You've got a couple of thank you in the chat as well, and there's also some questions there. So thank you so much, B.